There we go. Hey, welcome. Christine Weber here. I love supporting mature yoga teachers, getting their wisdom out there into the world so you can make a living teaching yoga. I want to talk to you about making a living teaching yoga because 20 years ago, I've been teaching for 30 years, but I remember 20 years ago, yoga was the trendy fitness thing. And it was a lot easier to make a living teaching yoga 20 years ago than it is today if you were just going to teach like vinyasa flow at a gym or a yoga studio or something, right? Today, there's many, many more people trained. But the other thing that's happened is the trend has shifted. So what you're seeing in Los Angeles is a really good place to look for the trends, right? Because that's where it comes out of. So what you're seeing in Los Angeles is, some people are still teaching yoga and doing yoga, but the young people are doing Pilates a lot more. And then you also see things like the class from Taran I forget her name is Taran Toomey or something, who's doing like a lot of kind of yoga-y things, but jumping around a lot to music and stuff. So it's not, we're not seeing the traditional yoga like we were seeing 20 years ago. So what does that mean? What's the opportunity? The opportunity is working with older people, chair yoga, and then restorative stuff, slow mindful yoga, nervous system focused yoga that helps you to regulate your nervous system. Like those are the things. If you can be teaching that stuff, you will always have classes because that's what people need. So today what I want to show you is I wanted to be a cat in the sun here. The sun just came out in my office and I tried to put some of the shades down so it's not too bright, and I know it's kind of bright in here, but I wanted to be a cat in the sun and do some restorative poses with you. This is the time of the year we need them, right? So here's one that I love. You need a bolster. You can use a block for this one too. It's kind of simple. And a blanket is always great to have around. So I'll grab my blanket too. So put the block about a third of the way from the bolster, about a third of the way down from the bolster. If you have two blankets, even better. If you have an eye pillow, even better. So then what we're going to do, one blanket is for on top, right? This blanket, we're going to fold. We're going to unfold it. This way doesn't work. You have to do it the long way, really. Oops, sorry, you can't see my face. You have to do it the long way. And then fold it in half. So that's really going to give us a lot more. And then what you do is you accordion fold it from here. So you get this long blanket and accordion fold. So that means put the one end down first. And then I'm going to accordion, so like that. 3 is probably fine. If you want to do 4 and be really specific with it, that's good too. This we're going to use for our feet. You could do it the other way. It's not wrong to do it the other way. You could do it the other way, meaning putting the fringes together. So this goes over your feet. And then this part, you kind of tuck up into your hips here. So it gives your hips a little support. And then you can put a big blanket on top. Oops, I forgot my eye pillow there. Eye pillow is great too. And I always tell folks with the eye pillow, you can put the eye pillow on over your eyes, but there's no problem putting it over your forehead too. The forehead is also, it's very relaxing. The weight on the forehead is very relaxing. And the other thing I didn't get out of the closet, which I should have, is my weighted blanket. If you have a weighted blanket and you put that on top of you, oh my God, it's so relaxing. So let's go ahead and relax for a minute or two. Nice, long, slow breaths. If you can stay here for 10 minutes, even better. If you just have a second, if you just have a short little break and you got a bunch of stuff to do, this is just Supta Baddha Konasana, reclining bound angle pose. This is just one of my favorites. I like to have my yoga stuff out all the time. I tend to not put it away. Well, this is like my little home studio, but even when I was living in a different house, I would always have my yoga stuff out somewhere in the house because that visual cue is really helpful for getting you to actually do it. You don't have to do a lot. A little is good too. Cat in the sun pose is another name I like to think of this one as. But we're going to do another cat in the sun pose. So you can stay there while I'm doing the next one if you want, because why not? Keep relaxing. Now, I'll fold those up later. Now, the next one I love is a kind of like a combination of a restorative twist plus a Feldenkrais twist. Moshe Feldenkrais, who I would call a great yoga teacher. He adapted a lot of yoga postures to his own methodology. I know I get in trouble for calling him a yoga teacher, but really it's very similar. So this one, you'll see how I've adapted the Feldenkrais. So this one, 2 bolsters and a blanket, maybe. You might not need the blanket. You might want 1 bolster and a blanket. So there's a lot of options, right? So you try, like with everything, you got to keep trying and finding the right height for you. So then you're lying down on your side. You put the top leg. I'm lying on my right side. Put the top leg here. And then my left hand on top of my right hand. So I'm going to do an inhale, open. And exhale, come back. Slide that hand, inhale, open. Exhale, back. Take your time. Time is such a luxury these days, people think luxury is yachts and expensive champagne and vacations and stuff, but you can take a vacation every day, just by taking time for yourself. So this time we'll stay here in the pose. That's the twist part of it. You could put a blanket over you, of course. And you can stay here again, maybe, I don't know, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. See what else you can soften. Can you get a little softer in that top leg? Maybe you're holding some tension like in your hip or in your glutes on the right side. So you want to let all that go. Soften the muscles in your face. What about your left shoulder? Can you soften that a little more? So just because this is a short video, take the left hand back to the right hand, and then you want to make sure you do the other side. So I'm just going to slide my stuff over this way so I'm not facing the camera. And then it's the same thing. You're going to lie on your left side with the left hand out, and the right leg comes up on top of the whatever props you've created, and then the right hand slides open. Oops, I'm a little too close to the wall and slides back. Take your time. Give all the time in the world to do the breath and the movement. And then, if you feel ready, then you can stay here. Just as needed. You can do it in the sunlight, even better. Now, what can you soften here? Maybe that right shoulder a little more, maybe the muscles in your face a bit more. And when you're ready, you can take the right hand back over to your left hand. And really nice after any restorative pose, it's to make sure that you include a shavasana, right? So maybe bolster underneath your knees. When you lie down with a bolster under your knees, make sure your heels are grounded. If you have smaller, shorter legs, another way to ground the heels is use a blanket. So the heels rest on the blanket there. So that's fine too. You just don't want your feet flying up in the air. Hands by your side, you can put a blanket on top. You know the drill, but if you can stay a little longer today and do your shavasana here, please do. So you take that time to take care of yourself. So thank you so much for being here. Please leave a comment. It's always nice to hear from you, and I'll see you next week. Take care.